So the Oklahoma Sooners' latest availability report dropped, and it did not have some good news on it. Plus, in all of my attempts to prepare us for this weekend, it didn't work the way that I hoped it to work. So let's talk about what I mean by that. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. So the availability report dropped on late last night. Me and Colin, of course, talked about that on Thanksgiving morning. So I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, enjoy time with family, friends, and, a lot of a family time, I guess you could say, friends of the family you choose. So I'm hoping you all enjoyed that time. But the availability report, when me and Colin talked about it, of course, had some players that we sensed was going to end up turning into not so good news. And it really did. So when you look at it, Jake Michael looks like he is not going to play in this game. And yeah, that kind of hurts my feelings. I was really hoping that it'll be a turnaround, but it appears it's some sort of something outside of injury. So hopefully he's back and ready to go come playoffs. So you're going to see a big shift on the line. You'll see Fabichiwewu move in to that center spot. You're going to see probably Ryan Fogier back at right guard with Derek Simmons being at right tackle. And so for the Sooners, they're going to have to be careful. This is probably the game where the simplest of game plans will be the most critical, because you're not going up against a team that's a punk. LSU is still a solid group of athletes. Like, they've got a lot of really good players on there. And no matter what you say, do, or even think about them as a program, the roster's still stout. And so you're going to go out there and you got to hit. You're going to go out there and be fundamentally sound. You're going to have to run the offense in the most efficient way possible to make sure that you have a chance to actually take this W. So, Oklahoma's going to have to put in work. The defense, I'm not concerned about with R. Mason being out, even though, me, I don't like I hate to not see R. Mason. Seeing Gentry now out completely kind of hurts. And the one that I tried to do something about, folks, I made my attempts and it did not work out. I'll explain in a second, but Jaden Jackson being probable is probably one of the things that puts a little bit of a smile on my face. If we can get him back on the field playing more than the 14, 15 snaps he's been playing, get him back to his 25, 30 snaps, I'm happy, but I don't think it's really that needed the way this team is set up. So let me explain to y'all what I mean about my attempts. First, shout out to the partners over there at Sleeper. I'm going to make a couple of picks here, and they've got some good promos going on right now, especially for the NFL this weekend and college ball coming in. So use our promo code UNFAIR. They'll match your first deposit 100% up to $100. Plus, they'll give you $20 just for checking them out. And so it makes it very easy to get in on the game. And so when you look at the picks, the promos right now, 30% boost on college football. So you got to pick 3 or more players. If you use it, 3 or more players, pick more or less on the stats. So if we come over here to the Oklahoma game, which I think is probably the one, a lot of us is going to be paying attention to, the stats aren't going to be all that great. And honestly, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. The fun thing you can do on this one is pick everything on the under. Just because we know there's been some struggle bus situations for this team. John Mateer under 200 yards. Go ahead and take the under. Barry and Brown receiving yards, under. We're going to take less. We're going to take less. We're going to take less. Let's take less on the Satania. Actually, I think Satania may break on a big one. But I'm going to take less on the Harlem Berry. I'm going to take less. Actually, yeah, I'll take less on Xavier Robinson. We don't know how healthy he is. But you got all these options. Be 2 or more players, more or less, on the stats, and you're in the game. Turn these game days into paydays. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They'll match your first deposit 100% up to $100. And if you don't deposit, they'll just give you $20 for checking them out. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. So I sent a scathing, very stern letter to the offices to get our guy, Reggie Powers III, free. I wanted my man's free. That was just egregious. Now, I didn't really send a letter, and I know the team tried to appeal, and obviously he will be out the first half of this game, in which I'm intrigued to see who actually steps in as the guy. There's going to be a very interesting one here. um, of what young player comes on the field and gives us another boost. Because, Reggie is that dude. He's the hitter on top of all of his boys in Michael Boganowski, right? You've got a group of hitters, Kendall Daniels. You got a lot of hitters on this roster, and so the anticipation is you should see some more guys go out there and put some helmets in some chests. And so I'm curious to see who we end up playing. But I think for me, the one that I'm most excited about, not gonna lie, is we'll get some Taylor Tatum back. So you'll get Tatum out there on the field, and because Tatum is going to play, now we have a good chance of having a run game that should be a lot better because of health. If he's healthy and he's playing, I think we should be good. You're going to get, of course, the toughness of X-Rob. You still should see Torrey Blaylock get some touches. But Taylor Tatum is the one that's going to be the wild card for me. Finally healthy, finally going to play. I want to see what he looks like in this game. But the good thing for Oklahoma, again, is we did a really good job of just managing these games. And I think we should be able to do that here against LSU. They're struggling right now as a program. We'll probably hear about Lane Kiffin right before the game, so it's going to take away for the most part in this one. Maybe it gives them a spark, maybe it doesn't. But I'm truly intrigued to see how they come out and play in this game. But injury-wise, this offensive line is going to have to – we're going to have to really get a good push on this defensive front. LSU, like I said, they have athletes, still have really good players. And we cannot discount them whatsoever, even though, man, I'm going to be honest, they're discounting themselves. I ain't heard not one good thing from an LSU fan about this game. And so there's dangers in this one we've got to watch out for. But Oklahoma should be able to maintain the strength they have on defense and really lock down. The physicality we play on defense is the thing that's going to save us in this one. Heck, it could be 6-3. Just keeping it a buck. It could be. Heck, we could hold them to no points and win 6-0. It could be that ugly of a game because they have athletes everywhere on that defense, but they are susceptible of being thrown off. And so all we got to do is play our game. So let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Want to hear y'all's thoughts. Y'all ready? This is the biggest game of the year now. Every game has been the biggest game of the year. Every game has been the game where Brent Venables needs to prove himself as a good coach. And every week, for the most part this year, he has proven in some way, shape, or form he's either a leader or not. I know, right? It just doesn't. I purposely talked in those circles. Brent Venables is at the point now, all he got to do is win. And we will all be happy. And he's proven to us that he can win. And I think that to me is the biggest thing of them all. Shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to give you $20 just for signing up. And they'll match your first deposit at 100% up to $100. We'll talk to you all this weekend. Hopefully no other news populates on this sheet. But yeah, we'll see. We'll talk soon. Peace.